temperate cyclone and tropical cyclone. And after understanding the tropical cyclone, we'll also understand the tropical cyclone in India with the different phases. And so before starting with the temperate cyclone, it is very much necessary that temperate cyclone formation completely depends upon that front formation. So the first we'll start with, I said that front, and I said that before starting this front, you should be aware of some pictures. So this front formation is taking place in the region of, I said that this is subtropical high pressure belt and this is polar high pressure. So the westerlies, warm westerlies, and here we have a cold polar westerlies. So this is the zone of, I said that this is the zone of transitional zone along the, I said that 50 to 60. तो आप लोग जो भी हैं लिखते रहेंगे whatever you think. And 50 degree to 60 degree north. In the similar manner, in the southern hemisphere we have, I said that there is an westerlies are there and there is an, I said, polar westerlies, cold polar. And this is the reason we have been, we will be able to get, I said, यहाँ पर हमें क्या मिलेगा, temperate cyclone, and in this reason. This is the reason, but before starting this one, so before starting of the temperate cyclone formation, there will be some kind of front formation will be there, and there will be types of fronts, like I said that a stationary front will form, and then a stationary front, and thereafter there is a formation of, I said that, cold front, and warm front, and thereafter it is occlusion front, and there will be two types of occlusion front. It is warm occlusion front, another I said that cold occlusion front. Okay. And warm occlusion front and cold. And you know that there is some picturization for this, for the everyone. Picturization, I said that some way you can present it, like I said, cold air is more pinching to the body, yes. So therefore, आप याद रख सकते हैं कि that cold front is represented through triangle. So the triangle is a representation of what? A triangle, the corner parts, it will pinch more in your body. So you can, and warm air is less pinching. Then you can remember, like I said, that semicircular structure is represented by warm front. And you know that the cold air, it is coming from here. Cold, this is in a cold polar westerlies. And when the cold polar westerlies is coming, so what it will make? It is going to just ऐसे याद रख सकते हैं. This is cold triangle, and from here warm westerlies, warm front kind of it. Means both are making a stationary front. So this structure is represented as what? Stationary front. समझ में आ गया? Why and how? And both are what is waiting? Stationary हैं. Both are what? at a place like I said that stationary front को हम लोग कैसे represent करेंगे? The cold air is coming from this side, so it is and from here it is, I said, which one I said? Warm. So this is a stationary front, and for occlusion front, so पहले हम लोग समझेंगे कि front कैसे बन रहा है. You know that, and you have to remember this line so many times. I said that warm westerlies are coming under the effect of cold force, understood, and they are coming from southwest to northeast, and then cold polar easterlies is coming from northeast to the what I said that southwest. So I said that at 50 to 60 degree latitude, warm westerlies and cold polar easterlies of contrasting nature of air masses meet. Yes, they are what is the nature? Contrasting, and they have discontinuities in the form of temperature. They have a different temperature. One is more cold, another is warm. Discontinuities in the pressure. One has a comparatively warm air has a less pressure, and the cold air has a more pressure. And then discontinuities in the humidity in the form of, I said that cold air it can have hold less moisture, and the warm air can more. Understood? So I said that because of two contrasting nature of air masses, कोई दो चीज मिल नहीं सकती हैं. The two things can never mix together. Yes or no? So I said that at 50 to 60 degree in the mid latitude, the warm westerlies and cold polar easterlies, two contrasting nature of air masses converges. In 50 to 60 degree latitude or in the mid latitude, I said warm westerlies and cold polar easterlies, two contrasting nature of air masses converged, but due to discontinuities in temperature, pressure and humidity, they do not readily intermix. And they stay for a time in a three-type transitional zone. They stay for a time, and that creates a formation of front. So it can be of what I said that thousands of kilometers or hundreds of kilometers wide, where they start, and the length wise thousands of kilometers, and then height wise I said that 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 kilometers like this. Okay? What is the height of warm air mass? 6 to 8 kilometers, and cold air mass around 4 to 5. Okay? What is the height of warm air mass? 6 to 4, and the height of cold air mass 4 to 5. Again I said that. ये line याद रख लेंगे. I said ये सब इसीलिए खोला हुआ है क्योंकि इसी क्लास में मुझे खोलना पड़ता है अपना कब से नौ, क्योंकि इसमें बहुत सारे पिक्चर है. Once the picture is clear, temperate cyclone is also clear. I said that just suppose that this is in a 50 to 60 degree latitude. This is 50, this is 60 degree latitude, and warm westerlies are coming like this. And here cold polar easterlies are deflecting towards right. Cold polar easterlies and warm westerlies are coming like this, and both converges at 50 to 60 degree latitude, and they are not due to contrasting nature of air masses, they are not ready to what is intermix, and they stop for a while, and that creates a front. Understood? So ये कैसा हो गया? Front कैसा है? It's in a length, it has in a width, it has in a height. So can I say that the front is in a three-dimensional transitional zone? Yes, can I say it's in a three-dimensional transitional zone? Yes, ध्यान से दोबारा सुनेंगे definition में. Front is in a three-dimensional transitional zone where warm westerlies and cold polar easterlies near mid latitude or 50 to 60 degree latitude, they converges, but they do not readily intermix due to discontinuities in temperature, pressure and humidity. And such transitional zone is known as front. Such transitional zone is known as, I said that, front. You can write down this definition. It's in a three-dimensional transitional zone. It's a three-dimensional transitional zone in mid latitude. Three-dimensional transitional zone in mid latitude where two contrasting nature of air masses warm westerlies from subtropical high pressure belt and cold polar easterlies from polar high pressure belt converges, but they do not readily intermix due to discontinuities in their temperature, pressure and humidity. Such developed condition considered as front is considered as front, and it is starting with stationary front formation. Clear? Now, this is clear to you? So, where they are meeting, in which region this warm air mass and then cold air mass are meeting? 50 to 60 degree in the mid latitude. अच्छे से ध्यान से समझेंगे ये जो पिक्चर है. I said that suppose the region, what is the height of warm air mass first? 6 to 8 kilometer. And what is the height of cold air mass? 4 to 5 kilometer. 6 बोल दो आपकी मर्जी है, कोई फिक्स नहीं होता है. I said 4 to 5 kilometer height. Understood it? ध्यान से देखते जाना. यदि ये पिक्चर क्लियर हो गया तो फिर क्लियर है. What is the meaning of cold air mass on the ground? It is an high pressure. And what is the warm air mass on the ground? It means low pressure. And the wind moves from high pressure to the low pressure. I said that, and if you can be able to see, like I said, you can see, like I said, from the polar high pressure, there is a from the polar high pressure, who is coming? Yes, tell me. Cold polar easterlies. And from the subtropical high pressure, who is coming? Warm westerlies. Yeah. And this is in a cold polar easterlies, and this is in a warm easterlies. And they are meeting in the region of, I said that, 50 to 60 degree latitude of subpolar low pressure. Understood? And when they meet at 50 to 60 degree latitude, and they say that, who are you? आप कौन हो? आप कौन हो? क्योंकि दोनों आपस में completely different हैं. And you know that कि different can never marry together. तो ये आपस में marriage नहीं कर सकते. Marriage नहीं कर सकते हैं तो इसका मतलब reason behind क्यों है? तो यहाँ पे इंडिया और पाकिस्तान बन गया. This side is Pakistan, warm बन रहा है. इंडिया थोड़ा ठंडा बन रहा है. This side is cold. So I said that हमने क्या देखा? So here it is coming and then stopped. Stopped for a while. And stop for a while in the sense it can stop for a day, it can stop for a 2 days, it can stop for a 3 days. And that it is known as, I said that, stationary form. Then first what it forms? Stationary form. Understood? I said that, ये line पूरा याद हो जाए. I said, from the subtropical high pressure belt warm westerlies, and then from the polar high pressure cold polar easterlies. The two contrasting nature of air masses are converging near 50 to 60 degree latitude, converging near 50 to 60 degree latitude with the discontinuities in the temperature discontinuities with the temperature, pressure and humidity. Understood? Therefore, they do not readily intermix, and then they create a front, a stationary front, and they start asking, who are you? Who are you? Means दोनों अभी जब तक आपस में बात न कर लें, who are you, and it is not clear, they will take a decision how to move further. They came to know that he said that the cold polar easterly said that I am on a heavy, very cold temperature, very low temperature, less humidity, and then I said that high pressure comparatively. Then others said that I am warm westerly said that I am having a high moisture, high humidity, I am having more temperature than you, and I am having what I said that decide what we will do. Then what happened? They are said that we are completely contrasting, we can't do anything, so let's follow the Coriolis force. Let's follow the Coriolis force. And then they started, and this is a great wall of China kind of, what is an air mass? There is this side is cold and there is an, I said that warm. And then what happened? This side, from this side, then what happened? This is they said that further more Coriolis forces started. जब ज़्यादा दिन तक नहीं हुआ, what happened? There is a kind of what low pressure, extra air started rising up. Yes or no? And then from here the air started, warm air little started rising up, and then when the warm air started rising up, the comparatively air become less in this region. Air become comparatively less. So the wind speed started becoming more. जब air become less, then this side से इस side में air आना start कर देगा. From this side the air will start coming, and they will find Coriolis force. And then warm westerlies started what is dilating away from the axis of dilation. From the axis of dilation, and they started more deflecting under the Coriolis force, because there is some kind of a chain of low pressure. And then I said that cold polar easterlies, they started also dilating away from the axis of dilation. Dilation means outward movement. They started moving outward. They started moving outward. And when they started moving outward, suddenly they have created more less air in the center. When the air started moving away from the axis of dilation, so this is considered as what? I said that this is an axis of dilation, axis of dilation. They started moving away. Getting my point? And when they started moving away, then you can be able to see that the warm westerly is coming from here, warm westerly is coming from here, and cold polar easterly is coming from here, deflecting towards right, and here it is. Now the cold polar easterly is after certain period formation of stationary front, little less pressure created in the center in the transition zone. They started what? More Coriolis force, then more deflection, making it to what? Dilate away, and warm westerly started also. Instead coming like this, more started dilating away. So the warm westerly started dilating away towards, I said that east. The warm westerly started dilating away towards, I said that when they are coming like this, and they said that, and from here you can be able to see cold polar easterlies. Then they are saying that actually they are never come like a straight. They used to what? Always deflect, and here it is also, I said that deflecting, and after waiting for in the stationary for some time, then this warm westerly started deflecting, little less pressure created. उसके बाद यहाँ पर warm air started rising up, comparatively less pressure created, and then warm westerlies further under the Coriolis force, they started what? Moving along the dilation axis in the east, and then cold polar easterlies started moving in the what? Along the dilation axis, outward flow, and because of this, very less air come into the center of this two contrasting nature of air mass, and that is the creation of what? Low pressure for the temperate cyclone. That is the creation of low pressure along the center of these two air masses. The first they have created an air mass. I said that again say. So this is the यहाँ से अब क्या होगा? There is a stationary front will become active. After that, the stationary front will become. What is the meaning of low pressure? If I say that this is in a low pressure, you know that ये कौन सा है? It is a cold air mass and it is a warm air mass. It has some pressure and it has also some pressure. And this pressure is much lower than this air and this pressure is also much lower than this air. So इसका मतलब कि thereafter what will happen? Everyone will try to come toward this center. And this is an active one. This is a what? Active one. So when the warm air mass, and it is happening in thousands of kilometers, 4, 5, 6,000 kilometers. It is not a small area. It is 4,000, 5,000 long and 4, 6,000. What is it now? Wide. It's a very large area. This phenomena is taking place. And then warm sterling, which is going toward this, and then cold polar sterling, which is what going toward this, and because of that there is a creation of what? Low pressure. And then now cold says, ये क्या हो गया? It is an attraction point of. It is an point of attraction for the cold air to come against towards this. And when the warm sterlies were going toward this again, he said that it is an attraction point for me. And then now warm sterlies wants to come toward this. And then cold polar sterlies wants to come toward this. Both wants to come. अब ऐसा तो नहीं कि हम आप साइकिल है, साइकिल को घुमा दिया, चलो यहाँ घुस जाओ. It's in a truck को देखते हो, when they are turning, they take a long turn. Yes or no? To turn. Similarly, when they have to come over here, they have to take in a turn. And when they started taking in a turn, he is moving in a cold polar sterly is moving in the west. And then I said that warm sterly is moving in the east toward the Siberia that you have seen. They are moving like this. I said then they started moving toward the low pressure center, and then during the movement they started invading into the region of warm air mass. Understood? He wants to come to the low pressure. Now I am coming on to the point. For the cold polar sterlies, the cold air mass who is there, इसके लिए दो point, they are the two factors which is making them to attract. And then the first factor which is attracting it is in a first low pressure. Another it is in itself. I said that कौन है ये? Warm air mass. Yes or no? Ground पे who is there? Warm air mass. That is a low pressure. This is in a warm sector and this is in a low pressure. The warm sector on the ground, it is in a low pressure. And यहाँ पे on the ground there is in a cold air. So high pressure and low pressure, and another it is in a low pressure. The two factors started attracting it. So the cold polar sterlies, they started, suppose it is attracting with the suppose 10 unit of force, and it is attracting with the 5 unit of force. It means now the cold polar sterlies, what is the height of cold polar sterlies? 4 to 5 kilometers, and they invaded into the region of, to come towards the low pressure, they invaded into the region of warm sector or warm air mass, and then warm air mass. Get up? With the unit of 15 unit. Yes, the two factors. Which are the two factors? One side, आप लोग का जगह कौन सा? आप लोग किस तरफ से? Warm air mass है. तो ground पे आपका कैसा pressure है? Less. And this is in a cold polar sterlies. Ground, what is the pressure? High. And there is an also what is in a low. So the two factors making them to attract, one the low pressure developed at the center, and another I said that south side, in the southern side, what is the low pressure on the ground. Under such two, the cold air mass started invading into the region of warm air mass. Who is invading? Cold or warm? Who is invading? And it is a cold front formation. And where is the cold front formation is taking place? It is happening in the southwest region of front. Where it is taking place? Southwest region of front. Again I said that cold polar sterlies which is moving westward, and then warm westerly which is moving eastward along the dilation axis. Due to this there is a low pressure created, and cold polar sterlies started invading into the under two factors toward the center, and they invaded into the region of warm air mass in the south. And warm air mass raised up 4 to 5 to high, raised up and become a cumulonimbus cloud. Which cloud it become? Which cloud become? और वैसे भी आपको पता है कि वार्म एयर मास का क्या कैरेक्टर होता है. व्हाट इज द कैरेक्टर ऑफ द वार्म एयर मास? लाइटर. यस और नॉट? एंड देन व्हेन इट इन्वेडेड, चढ़ने के लिए तो यहां पे भी वार्म एयर ही चढ़ेगा, बट यहां पर हु इज मोर फोर्सफुल? Who is more forceful? Cold air mass. And therefore he invaded, and then warm air mass started rising, and cold front, and at the cold front, which rainfall started taking place? Cumulonimbus cloud. Which rainfall started taking place? Which cloud? So cold air mass invaded into the region of it, and then there is a 4 to 5 kilometer height, and then warm air mass started rising up. It became a cumulonimbus cloud, and that is making it what? Tell me fast. Yes, heavy. Yes, downpours. Yes or not? Heavy rainfall started taking place. Getting my point? And then now see here. It is in a unit. What is the force? 15 unit. Now again I said that this is in a warm air mass. The warm westerly it is moving toward this, and there is a cold air mass का ये पीछे का tail है. This is the tail of the cold air mass, and now the warm air mass wants to come to this center, and there is a suppose अब ये warm air mass का कुछ pressure है और cold air mass का है, तो suppose it is attracting it with the 8 unit. How much? How much? क्योंकि ये cold था और ये low pressure था, तो cold का pressure थोड़ा सा high होगा, and it has a pressure of, I said that suppose एनी डिफरेंस दो इट इज 10 यूनिट, लेकिन यहां पर जो मूव कर रहा है वार्म एयर मास थोड़ा सा इसकी प्रेशर कम होगी, तो इट इज एन अट्रैक्टिंग विद द 8 यूनिट. सपोज इट स्टार्टेड कमिंग विद द 8 यूनिट. यस, लेकिन ग्राउंड पे कौन है? हु इज ऑन द ग्राउंड? कोल्ड एयर. एंड हु इज द ग्राउंड ऑन दिस साइड? वार्म एयर. तो नीचे में कौन मूव करेगा? हु विल मूव? कोल्ड एयर. हु विल मूव इन द ग्राउंड? एंड व्हाट इज द इंटेंसिटी? 5 यूनिट. व्हाट इज द इंटेंसिटी? Yes, tell me. किस इंटेंसिटी से? यहां पे बताया था ना कि the cold air mass it is on the ground, cold air mass, and on the ground who is there? Warm air mass on the ground. So pressure is low and is high. So on the ground it is attracting with the 5 unit, and this cold air mass is attracting toward this with the 10 unit. So it is making with the total force 15 unit. Yes or no? समझ में आ गया? And then another I said suppose ये भी warm air mass making in with the force of what? 10 यूनिट सपोज करो. सेंटर की तरफ कितने फोर्स से आ रहा है? 10 यूनिट. बट ऑन द ग्राउंड हु इज गोइंग? कोल्ड एयर मास टुवर्ड द वार्म सेक्टर. यस और नो? विद द 5 यूनिट ऑफ फोर्स. सो फाइनली इट इज रिड्यूसिंग द, फाइनली इट इज इन 10 यूनिट और इट इज इन 5 यूनिट. इसका मतलब वार्म फ्रंट की स्पीड रिड्यूस हो गई. यू आर मूविंग द 10 यूनिट बट इन द ग्राउंड हु इज रिड्यूसिंग योर स्पीड? कोल्ड एयर मास विच इज मूविंग डाउन द ग्राउंड. So finally your speed is what? 5 unit. Understood? Again I said that. ये picture clear हो गया तो temperate cyclone is also the same thing. I said, listen me carefully. So from the subtropical high pressure belt to the what is mid latitude region, warm westerlies is moving, and from the polar high pressure what is in a cold polar westerlies are moving, and they converges near what is in a mid latitude or 50 to 60 degree latitude, and both the air masses which are converging they do not mix because they have a discontinuity in their temperature, pressure and humidity. They do not readily intermix and they create a formation of front, transitional zone, and that is known as stationary front. After that some of the air masses started moving upward and created some low pressure. So on the eastern side cold polar westerlies started what? Deflecting more towards dilation of axis, and then I said that cold polar westerlies toward the dilation of axis and warm westerlies toward the eastern side. I said that dilation of axis. One is in a westward and therefore creation of more low pressure at the center. And after this stationary front, then on the eastern side cold polar westerlies they started. यहाँ पे 2 factors नहीं बोलना है, यहाँ पे ये मत लिखिएगा 2 factors. मैं समझा रहा हूं कि what are the 2 factors. I said that the cold polar westerlies with the more force invaded into the region of warm sector or warm air mass, and warm air mass under such high force they started moving upward and formed a cumulonimbus cloud with the what is it? Torrential and heavy rainfall. And on the other side when the warm air mass I said that wants to come to the center from the eastern side, and then in that section they started invading into the region of cold air mass. warm air mass started invading into the region of, but with the very reduced force, but with very, and then warm air is lighter than cold air, then with very reduced force they started riding over cold air mass. Yes, understood? Cold air mass. और किसी के ऊपर फोर्सफुल चढ़ाया जाए, कौन सा क्लाउड बनता है? If you are making them to move forcefully, stratus cloud. Yes. If I said that when you started moving over something, I said that, and then cold air mass, लेकिन ground पे कौन move कर रहा है? Who is moving towards the south? Cold air mass, and upper side warm air mass is rising up in the ground, nimbostratus, above altostratus, above I said cirrostratus. Which are the cloud it will form? Which are the cloud it will form? Nimbostratus, altostratus, cirrostratus. ऊपर में जैसे जैसे जाएंगे the cloud it will start increasing. And you know that stratus cloud, which cloud become heavy rainfall? Having vertical development or horizontal development? So stratus cloud will give a drizzle or rainfall. Drizzle, because a highly developed vertical development will cause a rainfall, and horizontal development with less water, they will cause drizzle. Then what will happen? Nimbostratus, और उससे थोड़ा ऊपर height है. Yes, tell me. Altostratus, याद है ना? 2 to 6 kilometer, and above 6 kilometer it is what? So what are the cloud it will start forming? Nimbostratus, altostratus, cirrostratus, and above it is which cloud? Cirrus, and cirrus is a part of it. Understood it? Again, आपने यदि उसमें भी देखा होगा, जैसे ही ऊपर में आ जाएंगे, if I go above, I have shown you cirrostratus. ऊपर में एयर गया, इसका मतलब क्या बन जाएगा? हाई प्रेशर, and high pressure started diverging, तो ऊपर में तो cirrus बनेगा. Yes or no? Any air which is going up, कोई भी लाइफ में ऊपर चला जाए और स्प्रेड होने लग जाएगा, क्योंकि more air pressure created. याद है ना? There is a 500, and the air has gone up, it become more air, and they started diverging, and as it started diverging, spreading means cirrostratus. It will come into play. So anywhere you will be able to see in the upper atmosphere, which cloud it will be there? Again I said that. Who is fast? Cold front is fast or warm front is fast? Yes, tell me. Cold front is fast. And if I am talking about the answer, so here who is moving? Its speed is suppose 15 unit, cold front, and the ground is covered by whom? Ground is covered by whom? And then cold air mass and then warm air mass is rising up, cold air mass, warm air mass rising up, cold air mass move karte ja raha hai, and the warm air mass is rising up. So it is in a cold front, its speed is what? 15 unit. And here warm air mass, it is rising up above to come toward this center. But on the ground, who is covering with the very slowly? Yes or not? The speed is comparatively less. And then warm front is moving slowly. But who is covering on the ground? Cold air mass. Slowly and slowly, ध्यान से देखें. Cold air mass. Cold air mass of cold front, cold air mass of warm front, both are coming onto the ground. Here it is in a which cloud? Cumulonimbus cloud. Here it is in what? Nimbostratus, altostratus, cirrostratus. Here it is in a is happening. And then slowly and slowly and slowly and slowly, what will happen? They will cover the ground. The ground was covered by whom? Cold air mass. And what does it mean? Cover means occlusion. Occlusion in the what is the meaning is what? Covering. The ground is covered by cold and upper portion was covered by whom? Warm. Understood it? And then that is I said that warm air sector is completely covered. Warm air sector is completely covered by cold air sector. And you can see, like again I said that nimbostratus, warm front. What is happening? First there will be nimbostratus cloud. There will be altostratus, cirrostratus and cirrus. And cirrus cloud is always, and cirrostratus cloud, all these are always indication of cyclone to come. Indication of cyclone to come. Getting my point? समझ में आ गया? Cold front? Yes, cold front, warm front. Again. This is the last time I am making to understand it. And this triangle structure is representing what? Cold front. And circle structure is representing warm. It means if you see that over the period, आपको क्या दिखेगा? I said that this region will be now cold front has started moving, and यहाँ पे क्या बन गया? Just tell me, cold front. And in this section, there is a formation of, just tell me, warm front, because from the ground who is covering? Cold air mass, and who is rising air is nimbostratus. Warm air mass is nimbostratus, altostratus, and cirrostratus. And here it is what? Cumulonimbus cloud. Cold front and warm front. Understood? Is it okay? Yes. समझ में आ गया आपका? Occlusion front is the final front. First, which is the front? Stationary front. तो कैसे define करेंगे stationary front को? और stationary front का definition भी आपको ऐसा ही होगा. And the same thing has been said by I said that V. Jerkanis and J. Jerkanis, the father and the son together, they have given this temperate cyclone formation stage. They have said itself, like I said that I said that warm westerlies and cold polar easterlies. Which one I said that? Warm westerlies and cold polar easterlies are converging near 50 to 60 degree latitude or in the mid latitude, but due to contrasting nature of air masses, they do not readily intermix and the creation of formation of front. Yes, sir? Discontinuous temperature and pressure, therefore they are not able to meet. And this is known as a stationary front. After certain period of interval, then the cold polar easterlies started dilating towards east. Cold polar easterlies started what? Dilating towards east, and warm easterlies started, west, and then warm easterlies started dilating towards east. Due to dilation along the dilation axis in the center, less pressure created, and that is a formation of low pressure of the temperate cyclone. ऊपर चढ़ रहा है, हाँ, क्योंकि वार्म एयर दोनों के केस में लाइटर ही है, और लाइटर एयर मास चाहे कोल्ड एयर मास व्हेन दे विल कम, चाहे वार्म एयर मास इज अटैकिंग टुवर्ड्स द कोल्ड एयर मास, व्हेन दे विल अटैक दे विल हैव टू राइज. क्या? कौन सा फ्रंट? Yes, यही तो मैं नीचे से दिखा रहा हूँ. There is a slowly and slowly movement because the speed is reduced by riding over the air masses. I said that if it is moving with the 10 unit and it is moving with the 10 unit, but the speed is reduced by whom? Warm air mass is riding coming towards the center. Here its speed is 15 unit. Here its speed is what? 5 unit. यहाँ पे दोनों एक दूसरे को सपोर्ट कर रहे हैं, but here there is two forces are what? Opposing. क्लियर? सो अभी दोबारा समझा रहे हैं इसीलिए, क्योंकि ये पिक्चर जितना क्लियर होगा दैट मच इट विल बी बेटर फॉर यू. आई सेड दैट तो they meet at the center and there is an what, they started moving away from the dilation axis, and then cold polar easterlies toward the west and then warm westerlies toward the east. And due to this, low pressure has been created at the center, and due to the low pressure creation at the center, the cold polar easterlies, they started coming toward this center within a very high vigorous force, and they invaded into the region of warm westerlies and then warm air mass in the south, and that is in a formation of what I said that, what is in a formation of cold front. And on the warm westerlies, they started also wants to come to the creation of this low pressure center, and they form they invaded, but the intensity has been comparatively much lower than the cold front, and then invaded into the region of, I said that, low pressure center at the center toward the cold air mass, and during the invasion they started riding over the cold air mass. They started riding over the, so इसकी फोर्स को किसने रिड्यूस कर दिया? नहीं तो ये यदि फोर्स इसका ज्यादा होता तो they have to, what is in a right, like I said that ये ऐसे उठता. If the force is more, then it has to go up like this, but if the force is less, then it will never be go like this. So therefore they started rising slowly and forming nimbostratus cloud, cirrostratus cloud, and nimbostratus, altostratus, and cirrostratus cloud. And वही तो तो मैं समझा रहा हूँ, यदि वो एक्सिस ऑफ डायलेशन नहीं, पहला तो लो प्रेशर तो ऑलरेडी है, हेडली सेल के अनुसार से फर्स्ट लो प्रेशर दे ऑलरेडी है, हेडली सेल व्हाट दे हैव सेड दैट, ये सारी चीजें इसीलिए पहले किया गया है कि इफ इट इज एन हाई प्रेशर मींस सराउंडिंग रीजन इज low pressure and it is in descending at subtropical high pressure, this region is low pressure. What is the meaning of high pressure? Surrounding region is low pressure. याद है ना, आपको स्ट्रक्चर इस फर्स्ट क्लास में बिना समझाए हुए 3 हेडली सेल्स आपको दोनों स्ट्रक्चर बनाया था, क्योंकि मैंने बोला था इफ देयर इज अ हाई प्रेशर सराउंडिंग रीजन मस्ट बी हाई प्रेशर, कहने का मतलब व्हाट इज द मीनिंग ऑफ इट, सराउंडिंग रीजन इज लो प्रेशर, देयरफॉर इसको हम लोग हाई प्रेशर बोल रहे हैं ना, इफ द विंड इज मोर देयरफॉर आई एम सेइंग हाई प्रेशर, the surrounding region is must be. So therefore there is a warm sterlis is moving and there is a cold polar sterlis. Warm sterlis, cold polar sterlis, they are meeting and but they do not readily intermix. अब यहाँ पर they started finding out कि क्या हो रहा है, वहां पे तो मैंने आपको डायरेक्टली बोल दिया कि ऐसे उड़ गया और घूम रहा है, लेकिन यहाँ पर फ्रंट समझाऊंगा तब पता चलेगा how do the warm air mass is rising up. In both the cases warm air mass is rising up. So I said that, और ये लो प्रेशर साइक्लोन का लो प्रेशर है, और ऐसे जो उठ रहा है उसके वजह से सबपोलर लो प्रेशर, अंडरस्टूड इट, एंड व्हेन दे स्टार्टेड क्रिएटिंग, सो लिसन मी केयरफुली, and then when the cold air mass started invading into the region of what is in a warm air mass, and the warm air mass started what is in a highly moving up and it is forming in a cumulonimbus cloud, and in the ground the fast coverage of cold air mass, and then fast coverage, fast movement means it will accrete more and more warm air mass and cumulonimbus cloud, and here it is comparatively with the slow speed, therefore if the slow speed is not able to make the thrust to the warm air mass, slow speed is not able to make a thrust to the warm air mass, therefore the warm air mass is slowly and slowly towards the center invading and then coming with the speed very slowly, and then it is making nimbostratus, altostratus and cirrostratus and cirrus cloud and causing drizzle for long days. And then ground is covered by cold front, and then slowly and slowly cold air mass, and then slowly and slowly warm front, cold air mass, both the ground has been covered. And when both the ground has been covered, it is known as, when the cold front meet with when the cold air mass of cold front and then cold air mass of the warm front get together, it is known as occlusion. And occlusion means covering. And the ground has been covered by cold air mass of both and warm air mass raised up. And we can be able to see, like I said, that stationary front, you can be able to see. This is, I said that, cold polar sterlis, and here it is, I said, warm sterlis, and this is stationary front. And why they have formed? Due to what I said, that discontinuities in temperature, pressure and humidity. Due to discontinuities in temperature, pressure and humidity, we are able to get what I said, that two contrasting nature of air mass stopped along mid latitude and this transition zone is known as stationary front. Stopped मतलब ही होता है कि nothing is happening, no atmospheric phenomena is happening. No atmospheric phenomena is happening. And neither cloud formation, nothing. But after that, what happened? warm westerlies slowly rising over cold polar westerlies. Slowly rising over cold polar westerlies. Rising over cold polar westerlies. Due to discontinuous temperature, pressure and humidity, two contrasting nature of air masses stopped along the mid latitude, and this transitional zone is as a stationary front, and no atmospheric phenomena is happening in this zone, and warm westerly is slowly rising over the cold polar westerlies. So it is in a stationary front. Second stage it is coming off. Second point that we will see like and this is an axis of dilation, and then warm and then comparatively low pressure created. यहाँ पे थोड़ा सा हर जगह low pressure created, and they started what is now because they आप ये जान कर रखिए contrasting nature of your masses can never ever meet, उनको अपना रास्ता लेना ही पड़ेगा. And after that they started developing in some amount of air. थोड़ी देर के लिए क्यों रुके? Why do they have stopped for a while? So that the sum of the air has gone up and then created enough pressure to what is move and creating more pressure getting, and then the warm westerlies started dilating towards east, and cold polar westerlies started dilating towards west. And due to dilation, the good amount of what? Air reduced from the center, and that is known as I said that low pressure. After stationary front formation, what happened? Cold polar westerlies started dilating. Dilating is outward movement. Started dilating towards west, and warm westerlies started dilating towards east along the axis of dilation. Along the axis of dilation. Therefore, what happened? Therefore, at the center of axis of dilation, at the center of axis of dilation, air pressure reduced and created low pressure of cyclone, low pressure of temperate cyclone. This is the second stage which has been taken place after the formation of what is the stationary front. After the stationary front formation, cold polar easterly started dilating towards west, and the warm westerly started dilating towards east along the axis of dilation, and therefore the center of axis of dilation, air pressure reduced due to the reduced air and created low pressure of the temperate cyclone. Next one, because of this, after this low pressure center on the so the cold air mass, and this is, you know that the cold air mass invading into the region of warm air mass with a very high force, and they have created a what? Next one is the creation of front, and here it is also warm air mass rising up, but the ground is covered by cold air mass, and there is a formation of, I said, warm front. And if the this way we can be able to see that if it is in a low pressure, it means surrounding region has high pressure. Surrounding region has high pressure. और दोनों का ये जो आइसोबार बन रहा है, ये जो आइसोबार है लो प्रेशर है, the line joining the same. इधर के आइसोबार, suppose it is an I said that 990 MB, 995 MB. तो इसका 990 is this, इसका 990 थोड़ा सा वार्म एयर का अलग रहेगा. So there is an isobar has been created. Understood? Low pressure, and this is in a cold air sector. This is, I said, cold air mass, and this is in a warm air mass. And I said due to creation of low pressure, isobar developed around the center in cold sector as well as warm sector. Isobar has been created. If it is in a low pressure, it must be surrounded by high pressure. If it is in a low pressure, it must be surrounded by, yes, what is the meaning of low pressure? Surrounding region is high pressure. Thereafter, now the next point is on the west side. West side में क्या हुआ? On the west side. On the west side, the cold air mass on the west side of this front, cold air mass, that is a cold polar easterlies, you can say also cold air mass invading heavily towards the warm air mass. Okay. And creation of cold front, and creation of, what I said, that cold front. Okay. On the west side, creation of cold front. And cold front formation, you can be able to see, like I said, that this is cold air mass is invading. Yes, then a cold air mass which is invading, and here the warm air mass is there. After that, this figure you can draw, and then warm air mass has risen up like cumulonimbus cloud with a heavy rainfall. And if you can see what will be the slope of it, cold air mass. So what is happening in the cold front? Cold front formation, what is the thing is there? There is a heavy and torrential rainfall. Okay, heavy and torrential rainfall by cumulonimbus cloud C by cumulonimbus cloud. Clear? इसका स्लोप कैसा होगा? What is the height of cold air mass? Tell me. 4 to 5 kilometer. What is? Suppose I am taking this is in a 5 kilometer, and suppose I said that its length is ये total area 500 है. तो 500 तो what is the slope? 1 upon tan theta equals to क्या होता है? Perpendicular upon base या y upon x. So 5 upon 500 means 1 upon 100. What is the angle? 1 upon 100. Or if it is I said that 2000 kilometer area, तो ये 2000 होगा तो 5 upon 2000 divided I'll say that 1 upon 400. So its slope is what I said that it's a slope can be I said that varies. लेकिन I said that ये यहाँ पर आप क्या देख रहे हो, कोल्ड एयर मास ने क्या किया है, अपने आप ही इतना फोर्स दिया है कि वार्म एयर मास उतना फटाफट चढ़ने लग रहा है. इट स्टार्टेड राइजिंग अप. तो इसका जो है स्लोप जो है लेस देन 1 अपॉन 100. व्हाट इज द स्लोप ऑफ दिस? लेस देन. तो स्लोप ऑफ इट, इसका जो स्लोप होगा कोल्ड फ्रंट का, इट इज एन आई सेड 1 लेस देन 1 upon 40 to 1 upon 100. Because it is making the things and faster hai. It is covering the faster. It does not allow the air to be in the larger area. Yes or not? So its a slope will be, I said that, faster. Less than 1 upon 100 or better to say 1 upon 42. It's a slope. Okay, so this is about the cold front. And this rainfall used to take place. इसका स्पीड बहुत ज्यादा है, तो सपोज इन दिस रीजन यहाँ पे इसने what he causing what is an torrential rainfall, and after that it will move. तो इस रीजन पे कितनी देर के लिए रहेगा? 2-3 hours maximum. It will keep on moving. So the particular region will get a torrential rainfall for how many times? What is the duration? Maximum what is an 1 to 3 hours. So torrential rainfall रीजन विल हैव व्हाट 1 to 3 hours. जैसे कभी कभी आप मैच देखते हैं in London and all, if the torrential rainfall takes place 1 or 2-3 hours, and then उसके बाद match started and then no rainfall, that you have seen it is in a cold front is passing from the London. Which front is passing? और उसके बाद क्रिकेट मैच फिर दोबारा चलता रहेगा, क्योंकि कोल्ड फ्रंट तुरंत निकल जाता है. इट इज नॉट कॉजिंग व्हाट फॉर मेनी डेज. वार्म फ्रंट कॉजेज फॉर 6-7 days. इसका मतलब पूरा टेस्ट मैच बर्बाद. So I said that, understood, this is cold front, its speed is fast, and then I said that coverage of warm sector in the south by cold front is very fast and reducing warm sector. And then what is it? Reducing and compressing. वो क्या करते जा रहा है? Warm sector started what? Compressing, reducing. This is about I said that this side, on the western side of a temperate cyclone, on the western side of a temperate cyclone there will be always, और यहाँ पर यदि आप पिक्चर बनाएंगे then you can make in a picture like I said that it will deflect towards, आपको भी पता है wind is to deflect towards high pressure to low pressure. तो यहाँ पे आप दिखाएंगे this way, तो यहाँ पे रेड कलर से मैं दिखा दूँ, it is deflecting towards right. Cyclone is what? Deflecting towards right. So low pressure to high pressure. So it is in a which kind of deflection I said? Anti-clockwise. So cyclone formation is यहाँ पे ध्यान रखेंगे. It is in a which kind? Anti-clockwise. Cyclone formation is in which form? Anti-clockwise. Next one we are going towards eastern side. On the east side, On the east side, we have seen that the warm air mass started invading into the cold air mass with slow force. Because it has been obstructed by the below. So I said that on the east side, I said that first point, warm air mass starting invading into the cold air mass region with comparative slow force. Comparative slow force. Okay. Therefore, speed of warm front is something better to with slow force, and such invasion, such transition zone of invasion is known as warm front. The speed of warm front is very slow. So invade here and its speed is very slow, that we have discussed. And there will be, I said that which kind of structure it will form. This is a cold air mass. And cold air mass, and here it is, I said warm air mass, and then warm air mass rising up. First he made nimbostratus cloud. As it will move altostratus, then there is a higher height, 6 km more, cirrostratus, and then other cirrus cloud, and they are causing rainfall, and their slope is very less because it is happening in a कोई भी area, what is in a warm air mass is forcefully rising. Therefore, I said that it started spreading in a very large area, and the large area means I can say that if it is in a 5 km, the large area can be till 2000 km also. So its slope is from the 1/100 to 1/400. So I said that next point, I said यहाँ पे क्या होगा? Rainfall by especially rainfall in the form of drizzle for 4 to 7 days. In the form of, I said, nimbostratus cloud and cirrostratus cloud, altostratus, cirrostratus and cirrus cloud. Okay. Next, it is covering the ground of warm sector. Warm front is covering the ground of warm sector in the south slowly. In the south, this direction is what I said that? South. Okay. Which direction I said that? South. So जब कभी लंदन में कहीं भी मैच हो रहा है and then drizzle is happening, it means which front is there? Warm front. Understood? And it will keep on happening, and then for longer period of days. So this is in about what I said that warm front. And next one, I said that in the next few days, what happened after that? In the next few days, in the south, moving cold front and then moving warm front started what? Reducing the warm sector and shrinking the warm sector, and then cold air mass of cold front and cold air mass of warm front has covered the ground. The point where it covered, it is considered as an occlusion. Understood? So when it has covered, it is known as occlusion. So I said that this is the front formation, and then after that this stage what will happen? आप देखेंगे कि ये और दिस स्टेज इज नोन है, जो आफ्टर दैट इट इज नोन एज, ये जो फर्स्ट स्टेज देखा इसको बोलते हैं फ्रंटल वेव स्टेज. इट इज नोन एज फ्रंटल वेव स्टेज. दिस इज नोन एज व्हाट? मेरे साथ कुछ बोलेंगे. स्टेशनरी फ्रंट, फ्रंटल वेव, ओपन वेव. व्हाट आर द थ्री आई से? frontal wave, open wave. Thereafter I said that initial occlusion, advanced occlusion and depth of cyclone. I said that. Yes, tell me. हमने क्या बोला? First three is stationary front, frontal wave, open wave, and the last three is, I said that, initial occlusion, advanced occlusion and depth of cyclone. Understood it? I said that again. हमने क्या क्या बोला? तो पहला अभी जो स्टेज आपने देखा था उसके ऊपर आप लिख सकते हैं फ्रंटल वेव स्टेज. दैट इज इन व्हाट? स्टेशनरी फ्रंट के बाद क्या बनता है? यस टेल मी, व्हाट इज फॉर्मिंग? फ्रंटल वेव. मिस आपको पूरे इन होल यूरोप एंड ऑल दिस रीजन में आपको कैसा फ्रंट दिखेगा? दिस काइंड ऑफ, आई सेड दैट दिस काइंड ऑफ. सो दिस इज अ कोल्ड फ्रंट एंड इट इज इन अ वार्म फ्रंट. क्योंकि पहले कैसे थे? दे आर इन द फॉर्म ऑफ स्टेशनरी फ्रंट. They are in the form of, but they started forming frontal wave. So it is in a wave has been created. Frontal wave stage. Second stage is which stage? Frontal wave. And then cold front पे कैसा rainfall होगा? Just tell me, heavy or drizzle? Heavy rainfall. And it keeps on happening to see, like I said that. And then ये cold front पहले यहाँ पे था. The cold front further moved like this. And then warm front has further moved, and this way I said and this is, I said that, cold front, and this is, I said that, warm front. This way you can be able to see, I said warm sector is further shrinking and cold sector is opening. Cold sector is what? Which sector is shrinking and which sector is opening? Warm sector is what? Shrinking, and cold sector is what? Spreading, is getting larger and larger. So after the frontal wave stage, which stage will come? Open wave. Yes? Slowly what happens? Slowly, due to movement of cold front and warm front, started reducing and shrinking. Warm sector in the south and cold sector, what? Opening wider. It is known as open wave stage. What it is known as? Open wave stage. Okay. So that started, which one I said that? Slowly, due to movement of cold front and warm front. Yes, movement of cold front, warm front. What happened? warm sector, यहाँ पे लिखेंगे started reducing and shrinking warm sector, started reducing and shrinking warm sector in the south, and cold sector opening wider, and it is known as open wave stress. The cold area started more opening, and if the cold area open होगा तो the cyclone cannot form. Yes or not? There is a what? Opening stress, open wave stress. Understood? What is the first stress? Stationary front. Second one I said that frontal wave, front will form, and front started moving faster. Then what happened? Cold sector has been warm sector reduced and cold sector opened. It is known as an open wave stress. Shall I remove this? And then कहाँ पे सबसे ज़्यादा rainfall हो रहा है? Just tell me which region is getting more rainfall? Cold front. और ये rainfall continued है. This is ये पहले यहाँ पे था. It keeps on moving. It keeps on moving. And here it is in a what? Nimbostratus, altostratus, cirrostratus. This kind of rainfall keeps on happening. Shall I remove? After the opening wave stage, what happened? After opening wave stage, occlusion take place. Occlusion take place. And you can be able to see, like I said, that you can be able to see this is an I said. ये structure किसके लिए determine करता है? Warm front. And this one is, I said that, cold front. So the cold front it is coming, and then warm front is coming, and it is in a cold air mass of cold front, it is in a cold air mass of warm front. And when they get together, it is known as what? Yes? Occlusion, occlusion front or occluded front. Listen me carefully. आपको कौन सा है? It is in a cold front, cold air mass. And who is there? Warm front, cold air mass. दोनों में से कौन cold होगा? Generally वो आप उसी को बोलोगे cold front का cold air mass क्या होगा? ज़्यादा होगा. That is known as a cold occlusion. That is known as a. So ध्यान से देखेंगे. So the first initial occlusion will take place. They are coming, going to together. यहाँ पे कौन सा rainfall? Nimbostratus, altostratus, cirrostratus. Drizzle. And when they get together, heavy rainfall, initial occlusion. Yes, cumulonimbus and all, heavy rainfall. And who is colder? Cold air mass of cold front. And that is known as a cold occluded front. It is known as which? I have said the two types of occluded front. Cold occlusion and warm occlusion. Cold occlusion and warm. And if it is in a warm or it is cold, then it is known as warm occlusion front. तो देखेंगे, let us see. ये दिख गया cold occlusion front में, who will be colder? In the cold occlusion front में, who will be colder? Yes, cold air mass of what? Cold front is warmer than the. तो difference क्या होगा? एक one it is I said that 6 degrees Celsius, and other will be what is it? 2 degrees Celsius. तो 2 degrees Celsius it is in a colder. दोनों cold है, but who is colder? Cold air mass of cold front. But another you can be able to see, यहाँ पर आप क्या देख रहे हैं? Cold air mass is cold, and यहाँ पे cold air mass of cold front, and here it is in a cold air mass of warm front. So cool air का मतलब temperature is little more than this. So it is in a cold front. But आप देखोगे, so if I say that occlusion take place, and occlusion में two types of occlusion, cold occlusion and then warm occlusion. Cold occlusion means I said that first, if I say this is cold front, and here we have what? Oh. This is this is cool air, and it is I said that cold air. So it is a colder, and then the warm front and cold. So here it is coming warm front, and here it is cold front. Both are coming towards each other. And after that, if it is in a cold air mass of cold front is more colder, then it will be heavy. और ये नीचे जाएगा और ये ऊपर जाएगा. Yes or not? Because it is in a comparatively warmer. So this cold air of warm front will move up. And after that, it is an initial occlusion, and then the next figure will be like I said that. अब ये ऊपर आ गया. This started what? Slowly rising up. And this is in a cool air, and this is I said that cold air. It is in a cold front and it is in a warm front. Both are moving towards each other. And this section is known as first position, and then I said this is in a what? Cold occlusion. That is cold occlusion. And in the case of warm occlusion, I'll make the figure over here. That is a initial occlusion. This is cold air mass, and this is cool air, and this is I said that cold air. And here it is I said that warm front, here it is I said that cold front. Both are moving, but this is colder, and here it is cold front, cold air mass is comparatively warmer. So what will happen when after the occlusion will take place? This cool air, and this is cold air. Then this is comparatively warmer, then it started riding over the warm front. When the cold front started riding over the warm front, and this is and it is known as a warm occlusion. So simple सा है इसमें. So the equation can be written like I said that cold air mass of cold front is warmer than cold air mass of warm front. Simple. And that is known as a warm occlusion. And here it is. Cold air mass of cold front is colder than cold air mass of cold front is colder than cold air mass of warm front. It can be at any time, and both will give the rainfall. Both will, but there is a दोनों चलते रहते हैं. कभी cold occlusion होते रहता है. Occlusion will take place, but the two types of occlusion can take place: warm occlusion और cold occlusion. ठीक है? और depends upon कि वो किस region से cross कर रहा है. यदि warm front Siberian region से cross कर रहा है तो वहां का coldness ले लेगा वो ज्यादा. तो automatically वो कैसा बन जाएगा? More cold. ठीक है? In both the cases, you will be able to see. आपने पहले क्या देखा था? First we have seen cold occlusion. Now here you can see what? Warm front air is what is in a colder, and cold front air is comparatively warmer. Then the cold front started rising over here. It is in a warm front, warm occlusion front, and here it is what? Cold occlusion. The cold air mass of cold front is colder than the cold air mass of warm front. Okay? So this is a very simple difference. It is clear? Cold occlusion and warm occlusion. And यहाँ पर आप देख सकते हैं दोबारा in this kind of picture it is going to what? Occlusion is going on. And then when this is in a kind of what? Initial occlusion. The cold front and warm front both are going to meet. और इस प्रकार का cyclone बनते रहता है. Temperate cyclone ये बनते रहता है. Is it okay? So, which are the two types of occlusion has been taken place? Yes, tell me. Cold occlusion and warm occlusion. And both will give what? Torrential rainfall. These two occlusion will keep on giving. Occlusion is giving torrential rainfall continuously. Now tell me, according to you, where I am talking about two regions, 1, 2, 3, which region will get occlude first? In this one, 1, 2, 3, which region will occlude first? First region. Thereafter, kyunki first when the two, here it is cold air mass, cold front, and here it is a warm front. The first, where the occlusion will take place? Ground will be covered by cold air mass first initially here. There, slowly and slowly and slowly it will be covered complete. Yes or not? So the first occlusion, which are the stages? Which stage is this? Open wave stage. And after the open wave stage, what happened? Occlusion. And that occlusion is known as initial occlusion. Yes. So in this region, first occlusion will take place. And we can be able to see, like I said, that. And first occlusion has been taken place. And this is the answer. I said, and this is known as initial occlusion. This is now initial occlusion has been, so it is in a triangle. तो पहले cold air के ऊपर कौन चढ़ गया? Warm air. Cold air के ऊपर कौन चढ़ गया? Warm air. Yes or no? Occlusion is represented through this cold air, and above cold air who is there? Warm air. Above cold air who is there? Warm air. So the occlusion is represented through this kind of, what I said, that indicative diagram. Okay, so this is the initial occlusion. लेकिन ध्यान से सोचेंगे, if you see that who is there, low pressure. ध्यान से देखिएगा, it is covering, और मैं यहाँ दिखा नहीं सकता, I can't close my hand like this. When it has occluded, तो यहाँ का that is a low pressure that has been covered in this region. The cold air mass of cold front and cold air mass of warm front get together, but low pressure has moved up. Low pressure ऊपर आ गया. यहाँ पे अब rainfall finished, but the low pressure has come down. So low pressure you can be able to see like that. यहाँ पे low pressure create हुआ, and then and what happened? Dilation, and then you can be able to see, like I said, that initial occlusion has been taken place, but this low pressure जो यहाँ दिखा रहा है, it is not on the ground. Ground is what covered by cold, but ever low pressure has moved upward. और इस low pressure की वजह से again the air will keep on coming and circulating. जो कि आप यहाँ देख रहे हैं, this way, it is in a warm air, this is in a warm front, here it is in a cold front, and initial occlusion has been taken place, but even then in the upper atmosphere above the, what is an initial occlusion, there is a what? Low pressure still exists. So I said that after opening of this stage, initial occlusion took place. So क्या लिखेंगे यहाँ पे? लिखेंगे write down. Figure is this side is, I said, that warm front, and this side I said that cold front, and this initial occlusion has been covered. यहाँ पर हो चुका है, and you can make a figure, like I said, that still, और यहाँ पे अभी isobars है, and the winds are, what is ना, deflecting towards right along this low pressure. After the open wave stage, initial occlusion took place at the center low pressure at the center of low pressure with heavy and torrential rainfall, Initial occlusion means ground is covered with the cold air mass, but the low pressure, ground is covered with cold air mass, but low pressure has been shifted upward. And still wind is coming toward this low pressure in anti-clockwise fashion. As these winds are also moving in anti-clockwise fashion, during frontal open wave stress. The wind is also moving during the what? Frontal as well as in the open wave in anti-clockwise fashion, जो picture मैंने पहले दिखाया था. Understood it? So the wind is still circulating and then low pressure has been moved upward. Understood? Now, the cold air mass from the cold sector and then warm air mass, the shrink warm sector still wants to come towards low pressure center. Understood? Write down. Change the next point. I said that advanced occlusion. Next one I said so आपने जो देखा ये कैसा है? It is in a kind of what? Initial occlusion. This is in a kind of what? Initial occlusion. But final advanced occlusion में क्या होगा? It will be like this. It will be like, it has been completed and the warm sector has highly reduced, highly shrink. बहुत थोड़ा सा बच जाएगा. So the whole, the reason of what I said that cold occlusion, so occlusion or warm occlusion has been taken place. Like I said that there is an initial occlusion, and after the initial occlusion you can be able to see only small sector has been left. It is known as advanced occlusion, and still the low pressure is over there in the above. So write down advanced occlusion. ध्यान रखिएगा लो प्रेशर हमेशा यहीं पर रहेगा. ओके, यहाँ पर after the initial occlusion, cold air mass from the cold front and warm air mass along the warm front started vigorously moving toward the low pressure center with heavy and torrential rainfall, along the cold front and drizzle along the warm front. a situation arrived where warm sector is about to finish through occlusion. It is known as advanced occlusion, and still heavy and torrential rainfall continue. Correct? So this is still continue. यहाँ पे rainfall is still continued. इसका मतलब cyclone has not been, and then wind is circulating around. Now as it will finish, so this structure covered. The whole ground is covered by whom? Cold air mass. And this is known as what? Death of cyclone. Understood? Death of cyclone. And the situation, इसका मतलब है कि this is in a finished. This structure is finished. Again, this is in a pole region. This is again I said that polar high pressure, and this is when I said that subtropical high pressure. और ये again पहले जैसा हो गया, and again it is happening in the large area, and again warm sterlies and cold polar sterlies are coming, and they are ready for the stationary front. So it is a continuous phenomena throughout the year. It is a continuous phenomena throughout the year. Is it clear? And it is happening thousands of kilometers. I have said it is happening in the. So write down second last, death of cyclone. Death of sixth stage. Death of, क्योंकि मैंने दोनों ही चीज को एक साथ कंबाइन कर दिया, फ्रंट और इन दोनों को एक साथ मैंने कंबाइन कर दिया. डेथ ऑफ साइक्लोन और साइक्लोलिसिस और फ्रंटोलिसिस, तीन चीज कह सकते हैं आप. डेथ ऑफ साइक्लोन और yes cyclolysis or frontolysis. Means front is also finishing, cyclone is also finishing, so cyclolysis, or you can say what? Frontolysis. Getting it? Clear? So write down, after the advanced occlusion, in the shrinked southern warm sector, occlusion in the shrinked southern warm sector completed, and the whole ground is covered with cold air mass and rotating effect of wind also finished. Also, rotating effect of wind also finished with finishing of front formation. Therefore, this stage is known as frontolysis or cyclolysis. Frontolysis or cyclolysis. ठीक है? या तो फ्रंट खत्म हो गया यहाँ पर, साथ साथ में क्या हो गया? The temperate cyclone formation has been also finished. Clear? So you can be able to see, like I said, that this is the way it has been continued. और ये पहला स्टेज क्या है इस डेयर में? Stationary front stage. And the second stage is frontal wave stage. And who has given this? V. Jerkanis and J. Jerkanis. जनरली लोग ये सोचते हैं कि टेम्परेट साइक्लोन डजंट हैव आइसोबार्स. रिमेंबर दैट इट हैज आइसोबार्स. सो V Jerkanis and J Jerkanis, the father and son, has given the concept of temperate cyclone, and this is known as polar front theory. That is known as, क्योंकि उन्होंने क्या फ्रंट को ही बोल दिया, फ्रंट इज कॉजिंग, इट इज द कॉज ऑफ व्हाट? Formation of temperate cyclone. He has given that front is the cause of temperate cyclone. So therefore this theory of temperate cyclone, and he has given the 6 stages. First it is, I said that stationary front. और इसका मतलब यहीं से cyclone start होता है. Therefore it is also known as cyclogenesis or frontogenesis. These are the names. Cyclogenesis you can say, or frontogenesis. Birth of cyclone and birth of front, it is known as what? Frontogenesis or cyclogenesis. The stationary front formation is a cyclogenesis or frontogenesis. Second stage is, I said that, frontal wave. जो मैंने बताया था कि they started invading into the regions. Thereafter the formation of frontal wave. Third stage, I said that open wave. आपको बताया था, I said that warm air started reducing and then cold sector started what? Opening. And thereafter I said initial occlusion, and it can be of two types, cold occlusion and warm occlusion, and then there is an advanced occlusion. And then we can be able to say like, क्या कह सकते हैं, डेथ ऑफ cyclone, or we can be able to see like it is in a frontolysis or cyclolysis. और इसी में सारे फ्रंट भी बन जाते हैं, वार्म फ्रंट, कोल्ड फ्रंट, वार्म फ्रंट, ऑक्लूजन फ्रंट. This is the itself, it is able to give us an idea about it. Now, I said that these are the 6 stages of, I said that, आपने क्या देखा? Cyclone formation. And then temperate cyclone formation कहाँ पे हो रहा है? यहाँ पर. Where the cold polar stratus is and then warm air mass. और ये दिख रहा है आपको? And just इसके ऊपर क्या बन रहा है? Yes, polar front jet stream. Which one is forming? Polar front jet stream. So the next one that you have to understand, that the formation of polar front jet stream. इसका मतलब all are going together. First we have to understand it. I said पहला हम लोग just having a revision what we have said. I said what is the definition of front? It is in a 3-dimensional transitional zone having the 2 contrasting nature of air masses with the discontinuities of temperature, pressure and humidity. Understood? And now we have started with the front along with the cyclone also. First stage is stationary front stage, and I said that warm stratus is from the subtropical air pressure, subtropical high pressure, and then cold polar stratus is from the polar high pressure. These 2 different contrasting nature of air masses converges near mid latitude, or I said 50 to 60 degree latitude. But due to discontinuities in their temperature and pressure and humidity, they do not readily intermix, and they stop for a while, and it is a creation of a stationary front. Understood? And after certain, and during that period, slowly and slowly, westerly started somewhere, your air started moving upward, and then after such long time, some little bit pressure has changed, and then warm westerlies started what? Dilating away toward the east along the axis of dilation, and cold polar stratus started dilating away along the axis of dilation towards the west. Due to dilation of these cold polar stratus and warm westerlies in the different direction, in opposite direction, air amount in the center has been reduced. And this is the low pressure has been formed, and this is the start of temperate cyclone. And now the फिर हमने आ गए frontal wave stage. Then after the creation of low pressure, the cold polar sterlies from the western side, they started invading with the high force toward the warm sector. It is the formation of cold front, and with the heavy and torrential rainfall through the cumulonimbus cloud, where the slope is 1/40 to 1/100, and then in a region they are giving torrential rainfall for 1 to 3 hours. On the eastern side, warm air mass started invading into the region of cold air mass. Warm air mass started invading into the region of cold air mass and started riding over with a very less slope, with a very slow speed, and that is 1/100 to 1/400 slope. And when it slowly started riding, it is making an nimbostratus, and then there is I said that altostratus and cirrostratus cloud, and giving a drizzle force continuous for 4, 5, 6, 7 days. Understood? In a given region. It is because it is in a wide spread or long area, and its speed is very slow, therefore it is staying for a particular region for long time. But after this stage is known as what? Formation of frontal wave stage. After that, the cold front and warm front started moving with comparative speed toward the south and started reducing the warm sector, and warm sector has been reduced, and then cold sector has been widely open, and that is known as an opening of the wave stage. And when the frontal wave and opening wave stage is continued, then after that there is an isobar has been also developed. The winds are circulating in anti-clockwise in the northern hemisphere. Understood? And when it is circulating in anti-clockwise and then open wave stage, and along the frontal, बार बोलते रहेंगे, along the cold front, a heavy and torrential rainfall continue with the high speed, and along the open warm front, drizzle is going on in the form of these clouds. Then the third it is coming initial, fourth it is coming frontal wave, open wave, then it is coming stationary front, frontal wave, open wave, then it is an initial occlusion. At the low pressure center, the first occlusion done by the cold air mass of cold front and cold air mass of warm front, and after that heavy rainfall torrential keeps on happening. Low pressure region has been shifted upward, and then after the initial occlusion, then further the cold front and warm front become very vigorous, and they started coming toward and shrinking the warm sector, and advanced occlusion take place, and then thereafter death of cyclone. Understood it? And this is known as also 6 stages of temperate cyclone and all. Now we are going to understand polar front junction. What is the height of warm air mass? 6 to 8, or it can be 10 also. On an average 6 to 8 you can say. Okay. What is the height of warm air mass? Cold air mass? 4 to 5. And where this cold polar sterlies and warm sterlies are meeting? 50 to 60 degree latitude. तो दोनों में कैसा दिख रहा है? दोनों रीजन में कैसा ग्रेडियंट है? What is the change? Temperature, pressure, humidity. Humidity को साइड में करते हैं. Humidity से तो rainfall and all it is happening. Yes. So what are the two types of changes? What are the two types of discontinuities? Temperature and yes, temperature gradient, and there is a pressure gradient. What is the height of warm air mass and cold air mass? So if I say that cold air mass is coming from this region, cold air mass is coming from this region, they have stopped for a while, and here who is coming? Tell me first. What is the height of warm air mass? This much. And what is the height of cold air mass? This much. Understood it? So the warm air mass is up to this and cold air mass is up to this. So what we will find? In the warm air mass, this side is very high amount of air, but in the cold air mass, this side is what? Yes, very, very less air. Getting my point? Who has? ये कैसे आ रहा है? Due to temperature gradient and pressure gradient. Who is causing? I said that temperature है यहाँ पर temperature difference. One is the warm air mass, another reason I said that cold air mass. So ये पूरा reason आप लोग क्या है? What is? आप लोग कैसे हैं? All of you are what is ना? Warm air mass. And then warm air mass height is what? 6 kilometer to 8, and cold air mass is, I said that, 4 to 5. So what happened? This side it is a pressure and this side is very less air. क्योंकि cold air mass क्या है? Below. What is the height? तो और इस 8 किलोमीटर पे cold air mass के ऊपर कैसा होगा? Very less air. Due to high pressure gradient, what happened? The wind started moving, and they started what? Deflecting towards right. Deflecting towards right. ये पहला कौन सा front बना हुआ है? Stationary front. I am just showing at the point of the stationary front there is a temperate cyclone. Who is there? Sorry, temperate cyclone. Polar front JDC. So there is a warm air mass. Height is 8 kilometer, and here it is a cold air mass. So from this side there is no air. The wind started moving fast and deflecting towards right, and they become like what is it? Polar front jet stream. So where the polar front jet stream is forming? At the transition zone between cold air mass and warm air mass due to the compatible availability of temperature gradient and pressure gradient. Yes or not? Polar front jet stream has been formed. And after that, ध्यान से देखेंगे what is happening. Here it is. I said that perhaps you remember it is a stationary front. In case of a stationary front in the upper atmosphere, who is moving? Tropical jet stream. Polar front jet stream. ठीक है? So I said that when there is a warm westerlies and cold polar easterlies, then there is a formation of what I said that parallel to this polar front jet stream. But thereafter what is that? Cold front, and there is what I said that warm front. And the cold front, what happened? The cold air mass in the cold front means when it is in putting the pressure, the warm air mass has caused the rainfall all, and this section has no air. So what is the cold front? This way there is a cold front, and this way the warm front. So when the cold front has gone up, so this side is cold air mass and this side is what? Warm air mass. And the warm front, this side has been covered by slowly and cold air mass, and this side is who? Warm air mass. Yes. So if it is in a warm air mass and this side is in a cold air mass, then the wind will come and deflect towards right in the northern hemisphere, and it will become what? Jet stream this side. And here it is in a warm front, and then warm front is there, then the warm front means warm air mass. This side is all of you are warm and you are shrinking like this. So now I can say that the warm air mass is up to this, and on the warm front, and this side is cold air mass. It means jet stream started becoming wavy. Jet stream started becoming, yes. As the frontal wave form, the same way our what? Jet stream also becoming. I have said that. Abhi maine kya bola? This is what? Warm air, and this is in a cold air. Simple, very high pressure gradient. Then wind will. So wind has deflected towards right, and it become what? Polar front jet stream. As the front proceeds, become cold front and warm front. So if it is in a cold front, what is the height of the air mass over there? ये कौन सा air mass है? Cold. And this side who is? So यहाँ पे wind कैसे move करेगा? Under the high pressure gradient force. They will move like this. And the warm front also, I said that what is there? Warm air, it is in a warm air front. Warm front पे, this is a warm air mass and this side is cold. सारे air ऐसे move करेंगे. So what is the direction of the movement of jet stream? They become wavy. That becomes. और ये कौन सा हो रहा है? Polar front jet stream is becoming wavy. It is known as Rossby. It is known as what? ROSS. And now आप लोग फिर देखेंगे for next stage what is happening? Cold front and warm front further, so that the jet stream will move like this, because the cold air is this side and then warm air is this much. So I said that. Is it clear? So our jet stream is becoming more and more wavy, and it is known as Rossby waves. It means I said that polar front jet stream follows the
frontal stage formation. Yes or not? And as the frontal stage formation proceeds, it becomes wavy, and that is known as what? Rossby wave. And if it is becoming, तो ये दिख रहा है. So this is the way that polar front jet stream is able to reach up to 30 degree north latitude also. जो मैंने बोला था कि you can't understand now today कि why it is moving in the Mediterranean region. आप केवल इतना ही समझ सकते थे कि बेल्ट शिफ्ट हो रहा है. That you can think like this. But today I saw that it is happening thousands of kilometers. It is happening, I have said that it is happening in thousands of kilometers, and it lies between 70 degree north latitude to 30 degree north latitude. This is the, and therefore 30 पे ये क्या region आ जाता है? Mediterranean region. Understood? So we can be able to see this is an Rossby waves, and further it will again finish, and there is an again start of what? Stationary front, and again the jet stream will keep on moving like this. Then again it will become wavy. So what we have seen? So polar front jet stream. If I say that moving, initially moving, yes, tell me, initially moving parallel to isobar along the transition zone of stationary front. Yes, initially moving parallel to the isobar along the transition zone of stationary front. जब stationary front has been formed, at that point क्या हुआ? When the stationary front has been formed, at that point they started moving parallel to the isobar along the transition zone of upper stationary front in upper atmosphere. As per the temperature gradient and pressure gradient. Which are the two changes are there? Temperature changes are there, and which are the pressure changes? As per the initially moving parallel to isobar along the transition zone of stationary front in upper atmosphere, as the temperature gradient and pressure gradient. As per the understood? Second steps, what happened? Thereafter, अब इसके लिए आगे स्टेज बताने के लिए I will have to say something. Conservation of angular momentum का concept we have to understand. And what is the conservation of angular momentum? I said that m1 v1 r1 equals to m2 v2 r2. Momentum is m1 v1. Yes. Momentum किसको कहते हैं? m1 v1 equals to m2 v2, but there is an, I said, angular momentum with respect to r. So I said that यदि आपको याद हो r cross p, याद है आप लोगों को? 11th में पढ़ते थे, लेकिन फिर भी यहाँ पे ऐसे कुछ जानना नहीं उतना, ये doesn't matter. So I said that m1 v1 r1, m2 v2 r2. Can I cancel mass? Mass of air will be remains. Mass of the air will, what left with? We left with what? v1 r1 and v2 r2. Initially, you know that the jet stream is moving like this. Thereafter, the jet stream started taking like this. And when the jet stream started taking like this structure, तो इसका मतलब है it has some arc. Arc का मतलब है it will have some circle. This is in a, this arc से हम लोग क्या समझेंगे? It is in a kind of circle, and it will have some what? Radius. And thereafter again, further Rossby आप देख रहे हैं, the further it is in a what? Becoming wavy. It is becoming more wavy. So when it is becoming more wavy, then you can see that radius has further reduced. Radius has becoming more and more wavy means radius is decreasing. So suppose इसकी radius I said that 4 kilometers, suppose 4 unit, or total suppose energy is 100, or इसकी radius I said that 10 unit. So if I say that if the radius is 10, then speed must be 10 to making it 100. If the radius is 4, तो 100 बनाने के लिए speed कितना हो जाएगा? So when the radius is less, then the speed is increasing. आपने कभी बचपन में in the class कोई भी देखा होगा कि one doll is like this, another doll is like this. Another doll को आपने rotate किया तो its speed is more, and when the doll is like this, its speed is less. इसलिए जब जंप करते हैं डाइवर्स तो अपने आप को अपने रेडियस को क्या करते हैं, देखा होगा ना पानी में, दे ट्राई टू बेंड देमसेल्फ एज मच, जितना बेंड करेंगे उतनी स्पीड बढ़ती जाएगी एज पर द कंजर्वेशन ऑफ एंगुलर मोमेंटम. सो एज मच वेवी दिस जेट स्ट्रीम विल बी देयर, स्पीड विल कीप ऑन हैपनिंग. और इस केस में इसकी स्पीड कहां चली जाती है, 560 किलोमीटर पर आवर. पोलर फ्रंट जेट स्ट्रीम रीच्ड अप टू 560 kilometer per hour. Do you understand what is the reason behind that increase in the speed of this? And this thing is not happening in the subtropical jet stream. It is only happening in which? This kind of wave is forming in which? और आप भी polar front के साथ ही तो बन रहा है. Otherwise it will keep on moving straight. So the first we have seen the formation of stationary front, and then thereafter I'll say that second point, as the different frontal formation process proceeds, polar front jet stream becoming wavy and wavy. Wavy and wavy means becoming more and wavy. It is known as Rossby wave. तो Rossby wave पहले आया होगा या construction of temperate cyclone and front पहले लोग समझे होंगे. First they have understood what? Concept of killer. Then Rossby wave has been found. Okay, this is the way. Third one, I said that this Rossby wave or polar front jet stream follows conservation of angular momentum. Therefore, when Rossby wave has more curvature, its speed is highest. Its speed is highest. जितना ज्यादा कर्व होते जाएगा इट्स स्पीड विल कीप ऑन इंक्रीजिंग. ये सब मैथमेटिकली जैसे बताया, ये सब चीज भी आपको लिखकर वहां बता देना है. आई सेड दैट वी हैव बीन एबल टू सी, लाइक आई सेड दैट इन द पोलर फ्रंट जेट स्ट्रीम. तो आप लोग क्या क्या देखे आपने यहाँ पे? फ्रंट फॉर्मेशन आपने देखा. विच आर द फ्रंट? स्टेशनरी फ्रंट, cold front, warm front and occlusion. In the occlusion, which are cold occlusion and warm occlusion. Understood? Lekin along with this, you have seen the 6 stages of the temperate cyclone formation. Lekin along with this, you have also seen that at the same time, who is moving? Polar front jet stream. and then polar front jet stream, ध्यान में रखेंगे, drags temperate cyclone from west to east. So west to east drag करने वाला कौन है? Who is? Polar front jet stream. Understood? Formation होते जा रहा है and इसके लो प्रेशर को खींचते चला जा रहा है कौन? Polar front jet stream. The polar front jet stream drags temperate cyclone from west to east. And now where they are, where this temperate cyclone is there, where? So maximum आप देखोगे कि यहाँ पर they will meet, yes or not, there will be good amount of moisture from both the sides. Yes. So this region, which Europe I said that? Which Europe I said that? Western Europe will have an what good amount of what? Formation of what? Temperate cyclone. The answer. And thereafter it is emitting from this side and emitting from this side. यहाँ पे कौन सा आ रहा है? Maritime polar और यहाँ पे continental tropical. Moisture कम होगा लेकिन rainfall तो temperate cyclone से होगा. So there is an this side. So कैसा देख रहे हैं? From northeast of North America to the Western Europe, we have a temperate cyclone distribution. Yes, tell me where is the distribution of temperate cyclone? Northeast of North America to the Western Europe. Understood? Now there is who is coming? Cold warm easterlies with the maritime tropical, and it is a continental polar comparatively less, and this Europe, this part of North America is receiving what? Temperate cyclone. लेकिन इसमें moisture बहुत लेकर आ रहा है, the heavy temperate cyclone rainfall. And similarly थोड़ा सा इसी रीजन को थोड़ा बैक ले जाएं तो यहाँ पे आ जाएंगे हम लोग. So the eastern Siberia to the northwest of North America. So where is the another temperate cyclone? Eastern Siberia to northwest of North America. Understood? So where is the distribution? So the first distribution is, write down. The distribution is from northeast of North America to distribution North America to Western Europe. Second distribution, yes, कहाँ से कहाँ तक है? Eastern Siberia to, yes, Eastern Siberia to northwest of North America. Understood? दूसरी जगह पे भी होंगे, थोड़े बहुत होंगे, very less intensified. And क्योंकि अंदर जाते जाते as much will go interior, continentality will be more effect and moisture will be less, then this kind of situation cannot occur too much. जैसे जैसे interior continent में जाओगे, there will be less. Clear? इसका मतलब कि यहाँ पर इस रीजन का टुंड्रा और टैगा और इस रीजन में टैगा, तो यहाँ पर टैगा काफी डेंस मिलेगा, यहाँ पर टैगा काफी डेंस मिलेगा, यहाँ पे कम मिलेगा, बिकॉज इंटीरियर में रेनफॉल रिड्यूसेस. यस और नो? एंड एक्सट्रीम क्लाइमेट में मिलेगा. टेम्परेचर विल बी कॉन्टिनेंटल में क्या होता है? टेम्परेचर वेरी कोल्डर इन द कोल्डेस्ट इन द विंटर एंड सो एक्सट्रीम क्लाइमेट विल बी देयर इन द इंटीरियर. तो यहाँ तक मॉइस्चर बहुत कम रहेगा. एंड सम रेनफॉल इज ऑल्सो हैपनिंग. यहाँ से कौन आ रहा है? विच एयर मास इज कमिंग? टेल मी. तो यहां से आ रहा है कोल्ड पोलर वेस्टर्लीज और यहां से कौन जा रहा है? वार्म वेस्टर्लीज आर गोइंग ऑन. एंड यदि और भी वेरी वीक इट इज गोइंग ऑन, मॉइस्चर इज लेस, तो हु विल कैरी द मॉइस्चर? मैरीटाइम, आर्कटिक काइंड ऑफ इट. और वही थोड़ा सा यहाँ पे रेनफॉल करेंगे. अंडरस्टूड इट? सो दीज आर द whole what is a minute understanding of it. Okay, so this is the way we have been able to see which are the three topics. Yes, front, temperate cyclone 6 stresses, एंड देन फ्रंट में कौन कौन सा स्टेशनरी, कोल्ड, वार्म एंड occlusion. Yes, which are the front? First stationary, second cold, third followed by occlusion. वो नहीं बोलोगे तो कहाँ से होगा? That is the death of cyclone. And then which are the 6 stages of temperate cyclone formation? Stationary front, wave, frontal wave, open wave, initial occlusion, advanced occlusion, and death of cyclone. Understood?